Hello, welcome to Anita the Pedagogue channel. Today we continue with our literature lessons. We are looking at the dilemma of a ghost, Act 5 analysis. We've already done an intro and prelude analysis, Act 1 to 4 analysis, and today we are looking at the Act 5 analysis. Now let's look at our lesson objectives for today. So we would look at the plot development, the literary devices, and the summary analysis of Act 5. Now, Act 5 is the last act of the dilemma of a ghost. It has 5 acts in all. So far, in Act 5, the conflict rises. There's been so many conflicts right from Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, Act 4. Now in Act 5, that is when all the issues reaches its apex, and we'll get down to it very soon. Actually begins with Ato, irritated and impatient as he waits urgently for his wife to get ready for them to go for a Thanksgiving service of a cousin who died the previous year. Now, Olali makes reference to a biblical allusion. Make reference to something already in the Bible that's existing in the Bible, referring to Ato as Moses. We know Moses was the leader of the Israelites when they were journeying from Egypt to the Promised Land. Olali bluntly refuses to attend the funeral Thanksgiving. They have a disagreement and argue due to the disagreements. Now, the disagreements were basically because Olali laments that Ato's focus is on his people and not her, even as she makes the statement, "Who married me, you or your people?" She also complains with disappointment why Ato failed to let his people know they were controlling Beth. And she believes that this caused Ato's family to think she is barren and pointing accusing fingers at her for their childlessness. Olali says that, and to make them think I am incapable of having kids to save your own face. And this is one of the issues that bring everything to its peak. Ato's response is that his people will simply not understand, knowing very well the issue of tradition and civilization not high with regards to Ato's folks. At this point, Olali refers to Ato's people as having savage customs and standards. They also argue about the American Negro compared to Ato's people. So here we have the American Negro being Ato's wife Olali, and Ato being on the side of being African. Each of them seem to think their culture and people is better off than the other, but is that really the case? Well, this is one of the issues that Ama Ata Aidoo sought to clarify or to project. This conflict reaches its peak, the climax, and due to the arguments, Ato slaps his wife for insulting his folks as she referred to them as bastards and people with a savage custom and standards. Also, we have first woman and second woman quickly come out hearing somebody call Mommy at night, and Mommy is just like mother. They believe it is Ato and assume things are not well between he and his wife. They end their conversation by giving two opinions on marriage. And while second woman asserts that marriage is like Owari, someone is bound to lose in another game. And Owari is a pit and pebble game. In the local Akan, it's called Owari. But we see that first woman says, if both players are good, the game may end equally. Now, what you're trying to say here, and I'll take it from first woman, she thinks that they are not on the same level in the relationship or in this marriage because Ato has his family influencing this marriage greatly. and first woman terms them as backers, while Olali has no backers or supporters. In our last scene, we find Ato report to his mother the argument he had with his wife, and Ato complains his wife has left. Even though he has gone in search of her, he has not found her at their residence in Accra. And also for not explaining to the family that they were controlling Beth. Ato's mother Esikom asserts that you have not dealt with us well, and you have not dealt with your wife well in this. In that, Ato, being the mediator or the person in the middle, should have been able to explain both sides of the issues that they were having. Explain his culture to his wife and get her to understand to some level, and also explain to his family the culture of his wife, which didn't happen. And so Esikom blames Ato for what is happening. Olali appears. She is weak and unhappy. Esikom quickly reaches for her and supports her, while Ato looks on, not knowing whether to go to his wife or to stay back. Her mother takes her to her room, leaving Ato alone outside. He crosses to his own door, that is Ato, pauses for a second, then runs back towards the door leading to the family house, stands there for some time, and finally moves to the middle of the courtyard. The voices of the children break out. Shall I go to Cape Coast? Shall I go to Elmina? I can't tell. Shall I? I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell. I can't tell. And we hear this from the good song that the children sing. And once Ato is at this junction and not knowing what way to take, it is quite obvious to us in this Act 5 that Ato is in a dilemma. He does not know what to do. Quickly look at the literary devices here. There is the use of biblical allusion, as Olali refers to Ato as Moses and uses the phrase, my people. Also the use of simile, when Olali says that they are more savage than dinosaurs, comparing the people to dinosaurs. And also it looks like a ghost of the conversation of first and second woman. Also, there's a saying that has been used, a very popular one, is that when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And this particular saying was one that Ato said to Olali. Also, the use of the proverb, marriage is like a worry. Someone is bound to lose and another to gain. It means that marriage is sometimes not a 50-50 affair, but sometimes one is at the losing end and one is at the winning end. And that is what second woman thinks. Move on to a summary analysis of Act 5. So Act 5, major division of the drama, the dilemma of a ghost, and the marriage of Ato and Olali turns sour as they quarrel over some issues, and one of it is not disclosing the reason in truth about their childless marriage to his family, her refusal to accompany Ato to the funeral thanksgiving of his cousin a year ago, and these are the conflicts that causes things to reach its peak. Also, Olali insulting Ato's folks as savages and also as bastards compared to American Negroes. The climax of the drama is when Ato slaps his wife due to her insults rained on his family. We move on to the resolution of the story, and this begins with Ato and Olali taking some break to rethink independently of the issues they face. And in the end, we see Olali returns to Ato's house and is welcomed and taken in by Esikom that Ato remains in a dilemma, not knowing whether to choose the tradition of his folks or his wife and the civilized culture. Now, this represents the many challenges Africans who traveled overseas faced, and some continue to face when they travel overseas and return home. And Ama Ata Aidoo sought to highlight these issues. We do a quick recap of Act 5. We have been looking at the plot development of Act 5, the sequence of events, and also we've looked at some literary devices and done a quick summary analysis. Now there are other lessons on Anita the Pedagogue channel that would be useful to you. Now this brings us to the end of our lesson on the dilemma of a ghost, Act 5 analysis. I do hope this lesson was useful to you. Please put in your comments and questions and I'll respond to them. Do like, share and subscribe to this channel. Until I come your way again, keep learning and be the best version of yourself.